All right, so let's talk about the what of learning. I'm going to demonstrate the multiple means of representation by discussing the concept of engagement. But first, let's hear from our friend Albert Einstein. He said, when you sit with a nice person for 2 hours, you think it's only a minute. But when you sit on a hot stove for a minute, you think it's 2 hours. That's engagement. Now, you might have some questions about that last slide. Was that two-time World Series champion Albert Pujols? Why didn't you have a picture of Albert Einstein? And is that really what Albert Einstein said? The answer to that is yes, yes, and yes. Okay. Engagement is not just about keeping an audience interested in one awesome thing. For example, juggling fire is awesome, but the more you do it, the more people get bored. Watch this for 1 hour and you are liable to fall asleep. So this requires people who juggle fire to do even more crazy fire juggling, like so. And then it just gets crazier and crazier. But there is another way. Engagement is just this constant struggle for an audience's attention. To get their attention, you need to know your audience. So let's look at two audience members. We have Mr. Baby Yoda and Mr. Darth Vader. Now, they're going to be engaged with really, really different things. What keeps Baby Yoda interested will probably bore Darth Vader, and vice versa. So you wouldn't try to tell the same joke to these people, would you? Therefore, to keep an audience engaged, you need to express yourself in a variety of ways. And this is what is called multiple means of representation. Robin Williams was a master at this. He was always switching accents. He would incorporate different kinds of jokes. He really knew his audience, and I think he could teach this better than I could. Okay. When your audience is a group of students, though, and your goal is to get them to learn something, you need to present that something in ways that all of them will understand. So it's not just about engagement, it's about getting them to understand the material as well, which is definitely a much higher stake than, say, being a stand-up comedian trying to get people to laugh. Now, one way to do this is to incorporate different languages where people understand. For example, if you have someone from Klingon in your classroom, well, throw in some Klingon expressions here and there. This benefits all people in the classroom. People in the classroom that don't speak Klingon at least get that exposure. And then the people who speak Klingon, well, they get to hear from their L1 every now and then. Okay. But not only should you present that something in ways every student can understand, you should also try to present it in a way that every student will maintain interest. So going back to the stand-up comedian example, your students are your audience, and they will be bored if you are boring. So you have to keep them engaged so that they will learn, because you can't learn if you're falling asleep. For one final thought, let's hear from our good friend, Spider-Man. He said, with great diversity comes great engagement. Adios.